Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GeoVax's channel, a clinical stage biotechnology company developing novel therapies and vaccines for cancers and many of the world's most threatening infectious diseases. Joining us to take us through some of the travels as they continue to expand their conferences and exposure. We've got David, the CEO, as always. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Pleasure to get you on. So I might as well just dive into this. You've been attending about a half dozen conferences with more coming up, including the Bio Europe conference there. Do you want to explain what these are, how you're kind of representing yourself, and just what it means for GeoVax?
Sure. Thank you, Kyle. Well, this is the season, the fall season of investor conferences, no doubt about it. So there's so many of them going on. We are extremely busy, as many companies are at this time of the year. And we've been attending them. We just came back from the Dawson James Conference, which was down in South Florida. We'll be going to the Noble Conference. We're H.C. Wainwright, the other conferences, and you mentioned we're heading out next week to go to Europe. In all instances, we're receiving a lot of interest and attention about where is our COVID-19 vaccine relative to the White House $5 billion funding program called Project NextGen. We're getting a lot of questions on that. We're getting a lot of questions on Gedeptin as it advances to a broader phase 2 clinical program. You know, it's being developed initially for advanced head and neck cancers. So let me touch on those because that's really the focal point. First of all, Bio Europe is a major partnering meeting that is held obviously in Europe every year. Everybody goes to it, from large, small companies that have any assets, of either looking for assets to perhaps license or with which to collaborate, et cetera. We're over there because both with our COVID-19 vaccine as well as Gedeptin, we're receiving a lot of interest in broader collaboration, meaning global collaboration and development. So we're quite excited about that. Relative to the White House Project NextGen, you know, it was announced in April, a $5 billion program looking for products that would give a broader, more durable type of response to the vaccines, targeting populations that currently have been underserved by the current authorized vaccines. So there's a recognition we need more out there, and we need more differentiated products out there because there are populations for whom the current vaccines simply are not working. And they're also noticing that the durability is significantly inadequate, and that it's 2 to 4 months, and we need to be looking at least 6 months to a year. So we've been very involved in that program. We've had submissions. We're in direct dialogue with the leaders of the Project NextGen. In fact, they announced it in April. In August, they made the initial announcement of a $1.4 billion, mostly to clinical research organizations. It was not to vaccine companies at that time. That left a remainder of $3.6 billion. Then they announced on October the 13th their initial funding that went to product-related companies also, as well as support labs that would be part of the overall initiative. So that left it to where there's now a remainder of $3.1 billion, a lot of money still out there. We are right in the middle of the discussions, and that's about as much as we can say, other than we're very involved in the discussions. We think the likelihood is extremely high. In fact, we're anticipating that we will more than likely be funded through Project NextGen. But again, time will tell. We'll see as the announcements come forward. But again, with $3.1 billion remaining, there is a significant amount of monies to be able to advance our product to a non-dilutive development on a much faster pace than what we have been. So we have that. Still, at the same time, we have 3 phase 2 clinical trials underway with our project, with our COVID-19 vaccine. One of those is now fully enrolled. Another one is on accelerated. It appears to be accelerated pathway to enrollment. So we have one that's fully enrolled. We're anxious to get to the first point where we start looking at data and communicating that to the investor community. Have another product that, as we mentioned, is going through a rather fast pace for enrollment. The third one is actually expanding to multiple sites throughout the U.S. We'll be announcing that very soon and identifying some of the initial sites. So that's coming up. With Gedeptin, we have a lot of interest in this technology because it is clearly a platform technology. Initial indication, advanced head and neck cancer. These are people who have failed on everything. They're simply nothing for them, unfortunately. We're trying to improve their quality of life during their last stages of life. We're not looking for rescue strategy initially with the first indication, but that's what we're working on. But there is broader interest because we hold worldwide rights for this technology against all indications, and it is agnostic to the type of solid tumors. So if it's triple negative breast cancer, if it's head and neck cancer, if it's pancreatic cancer, as long as there's a tumor that's being involved, then we have the technology that appears to be not only extremely safe, but also to reduce, if not eliminate, the tumors. So we're quite excited about that. And as you know, oncology is an area of tremendous interest because there are so many different avenues to approach and so many different types of cancers. So you need a very large variety of therapies as well as tools to go after cancers. And we're right in the middle of that, and we're seeing very good results coming out of our current program. And that's why we're heading over to Bio Europe, both for our COVID-19 vaccine discussions as well as with Gedeptin for our solid tumor cancer. So very exciting times. We expect to see catalysts to be reported yet this year and into the early part of 2024. We hope to be giving some reports on what we're seeing from some of these trials as the data starts coming out to us. We're getting very close to an interim result on one of our next generation vaccine for COVID-19 programs. So a lot will be coming forward in literally over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the remainder of the year.
Very clerical, David. I appreciate your time, and I'll pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below, and consider subscribing because as those catalysts come down the wire and into play, we're going to bring that news to you here. But on that, we look forward to catching you in the next one.
Thank you. We do too. Thank you.